it to Somerdale, New Jersey, and we have the mayor as well as Larry Sefchick and then Mayor Passanante. He's coming in, and we're going to be talking about the time capsule they've done for their town. So it's quite the honor to have them on today, and I'm going to just switch screens. We're going to hop into it as always, but as you guys know, we are doing a Spotify, Apple. This is streaming everywhere, and this is all about the time capsule that people have created, why they've created it, and ways that maybe you could do it as well. So thank you so much for joining in, and we are having two people on today. So introduce yourself, guys.
Hi, I'm Mayor Gary Passanante with the Borough of Somerdale. This is my 26th year as mayor of the town.
Wow.
And I'm Larry Sefchick, council member, Borough of Somerdale, and I am chairman for the Somerdale Historical Society.
Wow. Thank you guys so much for coming onto the show. I know that we were just emailed your YouTube, so we're going to link that too when we post this, but they've created a really incredible time capsule about their town. So guys, take it away. Tell me the story behind this time capsule, because it seems like it's a very rich history.
I guess it started actually with our 90th anniversary celebration, and the councilman was kind enough to take the lead on working on gathering artifacts and getting us ready for the 90th celebration of the town, and then that led to really a vacation that we happened to be on together in Alaska. And we saw a time capsule that was in Fairbanks?
Fairbanks, yeah.
Fairbanks.
Huh.
And when we saw that, and we had already been in the 90th anniversary mode, we started talking about, we could probably do this. And then I said, well, if we can do it, you're going to lead the charge. So the councilman took it and ran, and he's done just a tremendous job with it.
And for the people that haven't seen it yet, explain what's in it, because there's a lot of different material in that time capsule.
Well, I mean, we have all our local schools. We put their yearbooks in there. We have our history book for the borough. We have our 90th booklet had a lot of history in it, and what came out of that was just the dates and everything that we had documented. We were able to put that book in there, and we put so many things in there that one of the interesting things that we did was we, if you want to talk about this, Mayor, with the player that we put in there.
Yeah, we well, just to give you an idea of how much we put in. This capsule is pretty big. Here's a list.
Oh, wow.
There's 4 pages of material that we put in. The box itself is probably
30 by 18 by 29.
So it's a big box.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And, we were fortunate enough to have a local company, Pepco Sheet Metal Manufacturing, that has been in town for 60 years. They made us the box out of stainless steel as a gift.
Wow.
It's fully sealed. I mean, literally, this will probably last through a nuclear attack if we need to, because this is not your traditional time capsule. The box is stainless steel. It's sealed with a special sealant, and then it was encased in a concrete box. Yeah, like a vault.
Concrete vault, yeah.
That
4 inches thick.
That we had our public works make for us, and then we put that on the property, the borough property, municipal property, to make sure that it would not get lost. And it's we actually have a picture of what it looks like with it's got a plaque on the outside. Now inside the box, in addition to all the artifacts that we put in, were timely things like newspaper articles that were current and reflective of things that happen in our community, things from our different schools, things from organizations in our town. We produced a couple of videos. In fact, the video that was mentioned, it's up on our website. We actually put that on a thumb drive, a little drive that we put in a USB drive in the box. Now we had to think about, well, are they going to have the technology to play this, um, 60 years from now? So what we did is we bought a player that only uses electricity because we figured electricity
Wow.
will still be around, because we knew batteries weren't going to last. So we bought a player that could be plugged in. That we set it up so that all you do is plug the USB in and it starts playing it automatically. So the video will play with a presentation for the viewers that come from us directly.
Wow. Yeah. I noticed it was a mix of digital and physical, right? So how did you tell people in your community that you were doing this and they could bring one thing, or was it more so, was it open, or was it more so?
Uh, Absolutely, yeah. We notified our community, and just made them aware that we are doing a time capsule. If you have
Yeah.
anything to contribute to the time capsule, please do. As a matter of fact, Elyse, we had parents write letters to their children,
Oh, wow.
their youngsters, and the letters went in the time capsule. So we figured a second grader or a third grader right now will be about 65 years old at that date
Wow.
when it's uncovered. So and we involved the children in the community because they're going to be the gatekeepers. They're the ones that are going to be having the eyes on the time capsule. So we went to our schools and we're trying to get them as involved as possible so that they can take children on day trips, walk down the street and visit the time capsule and explain what a time capsule is.
Yeah. And I think it was a good fit for your town to incorporate, the children too. After watching your YouTube video that you guys sent over, it seems like people, live in this town for generations. I saw like the police
Yes.
officer that was speaking. I thought was incredible because, his grandfather was in the force, and it's interesting to see how everything's passed down. Yeah. So encouraging the children to put in their letters, or the parents to put in letters for the children, is a great idea. Wow. Okay. So obviously this is very meaningful for you guys, but could you, put into a sentence, or like, why is it meaningful to you? Because I don't know a lot of towns that have done something like this so far.
Well, again, it kind of started with our 90th anniversary. We started reflecting on the importance of people like us, the town leaders, the governing body, to establish long-term relationships with our residents so that they have pride in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And what we found was that we didn't really have a lot of historical references that were being kept. We had a lot of history, but nobody was keeping it.
Right.
And so we talked about it and said, beside running the town today, we feel we have an obligation as local leaders to prepare the town for the future. And the more pride we create within our own town borders with our residents, the more opportunity people will want to stay, and generation after generation will continue to be here. So we think it's an important thing for every governing body should be considering doing for their community going forward.
Yeah. Developing a legacy too for the future. The future mayor, whoever follows you, I definitely think is important. And time capsules have been around for a very long time, so a perfect way of archival. They've held a lot of fascination for people. So have you gotten any media attention, about this time capsule?
Uh, we haven't really advertised this to everyone yet. We were trying to get everything ready, and the councilman's leading us on the historical society's efforts to create a series of videos that we're going to have that tell the story of Somerdale, our famous residents in the past and things that took place. Our county government was actually founded in Somerdale, in a hotel tavern.
Wow.
And I spoke to one of our commissioners for the county. He didn't even know that. So now that we're almost at a point where we're ready to tell the world, we're going to be going out and letting the media know that we've got this material. We have it ready. People can visit the town, watch the videos either in person or online. So we haven't really pushed for a lot of media attention yet.
Yeah. I'm sure when people get an idea of what's going on, it's going to be very interesting. And I know, going back to what you put in it, because it was just such an enormous amount of stuff. What would you say like your most successful? What did a lot of people want to put into the time capsule? Because I know that you guys did this pre-COVID, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously now when people are doing time capsules for 2020, the first thing people think of is the mask. So what did people put in most frequently in the time capsule when you guys were asking for them to contribute?
Well, it was kind of amazing because everybody in their groups, the fire department donated things having to do with the fire department.
Yes.
The police department donated things we had old tickets, we had old, things from the police department,
Yeah.
and then different groups throughout town had things that were associated with them. Miss Somerdale, photos and things like that. So it independent groups, a lot of them supported it, and then parents put the personal things in,
Right.
about their families.
But we did have some obscure items, like we've got some T-shirts that are in there that would be timely. We've got we put in like batteries.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know if like D-cell batteries. We have a Radio Shack battery. Most people, a lot of young kids don't even know who Radio Shack is. Okay, so we put that in there. We have a TV remote control because we think that they're going to be a thing of the past. So we got some pretty cool things. Now, of course, I will say this one is very, very obscure, but this was at the suggestion of my council member here, my councilman. We actually put a lock of my hair in
it was in a test tube.
In a test tube.
Yeah.
There.
DNA.
No, you guys would be very shocked to hear that a lot of people do that, especially like new mothers when they're doing baby time capsules. But yeah, it's huge in this industry. So that's really funny that you did that. What made you think to do that?
We bought a kit on time capsule preservation. And we used a lot of that stuff from the kit. So, where we would put the photos in and so forth. And there was, Larry found it, I think, was this little vial.
Yeah, it was a little test tube.
And so he says, you want to donate?
There'll be a future mayor running around somewhere because I believe in 2079, you may be able to do something with a test tube. So who knows?
Wow, imagine that. No, definitely you guys prepared for a lot of different things with this one.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
We just we thought it out and tried to be as broad-minded as we could with all our residents and the things we put in there. So we took our time and tried to do it as best as we could.
And did you guys already have the box that you knew everything was going to go in before you asked members of the community to send over their things, or were you just kind of winging it?
Well, we estimated. We knew we were going to get a good response on what we had, so we built the box big enough to support, what we thought was going to be a pretty big return on our question. So, but it worked out because everything just fit.
Oh yeah, we filled the box.
We filled the box. Yeah.
No, and that's great. They say actually 80 to 90% of time capsules that are buried in the ground are either lost, forgotten about, or even stolen. So how did you guys ensure that yours would be not forgotten and that people would know where it's placed?
So in the, I don't even know if I can even display this, but I got a picture of what we did. I don't know if it's possible to.
Maybe I have it. Do I have it?
Did you send a picture?
I didn't send it to her, but
we have a picture of it. It's in our municipal building property. Okay, so we have basically almost what I'll call a city block is what we own. Now it's not city size, but it's a pretty good size area. So it's going to always be municipal property. So it's buried on that. It's buried in a concrete vault.
Oh,
and
wow.
then in the vault is the stainless steel box that is sealed from the elements as well.
Wow.
And the elements inside are sealed by the kit we bought that allow us to put them in preservation bags and so forth. And then we put
Oxygenators.
oxygenators in there to remove all the oxygen from what was left in there. So that's all in there so that we try to ensure that it would be intact. And then the location, we didn't want that to be lost.
Yeah, of
because
course.
we knew that was important. So we put it basically on the front property, and we have a granite stone
Wow.
that's large. I mean, it's basically a tombstone converted. And on that tombstone is a brass carved plaque that indicates the time capsule is there and what year it has to be opened.
Wow.
And it is, we built a wall around it with lighting on it. So, it's going to be pretty hard to lose this.
Well, it's good to know. I mean, if you guys put so much effort into creating it, we want to make sure that people can find them. And that's why we've also registered it on the International Time Capsule Society. So I don't know if you guys have gotten a chance to actually see what that looks like, but I would
No.
love to show you. So I'm going to try to set it up on my end and see if you can see it. So what we're going to be talking about, too, is the World Cat. Now, the world's largest library catalog. You guys are located there now. So if for any reason, obviously physically you guys can find it, but for other members of the community, if they want to see it, I will show you exactly how to find it.
Cool.
So have you guys been on the World Cat before? Just out of curiosity?
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it is the world's largest library database, and I'm going to switch right now. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so, I don't know why it's frozen. Let me go back. It's a bit frozen. But the WorldCat's the world's largest library database, and when you go ahead and check it out, you look up the Somerdale Historical Preservation, you'll be able to see your record. I'm trying to pull it up on my end, but while I try to do that, just tell us a little bit more about your time capsules and how they're useful for preserving history, because I think that is the biggest thing here. You guys said it best yourself. You had all of these, records, but you didn't really know what to do with them. People weren't really archiving them. They were kind of just floating through. So now that we have the technology to archive, we have the internet to learn how to, build these time capsules and create these projects. How do you think that these were a useful way of preserving history? Would you recommend someone else to do this?
Oh, absolutely. Our biggest thing about the time capsule was that, we kind of wished that our predecessors before us would have
Right.
done something so we could enjoy their past. So that's what we were aiming to do, to solidify our history and to pass that on to our future generations. And I think we've had, we've entered enough information in that time capsule to do that.
And I have to tell you, it was an adventure for us. As much as we might have thought individually we knew about our town, and
Yeah.
we've been governing the town a long time, I realized how much I really did not know,
Right.
and it was such a great experience to go through and read some of these things, find out about certain things, and it does instill pride. That we're just a small town. We got about 6,000 residents. 1.4 square miles, but there's some real history in our community that should be shared, and a time capsule is the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And now everyone can find it. And I'm excited. I just figured out how to do this. So if you guys take a look at the screen, the World Cat is the world's largest library database in the world. It's has more than 10,000 libraries worldwide are on it, and you guys are registered on it through the International Time Capsule Society. So what you do, and you guys can tell anyone, you can put this on your Facebook so that all the techie people in the future know. They can go on the World Cat, type in the Somerdale Historical Preservation. You search it and it comes up right here. Here's the library record. Now the library record is really cool. Here it is. And then when you click view online, it's when you get a little bit more information on the time capsule itself, and it's transferred into the Not Forgotten library. Now the cool thing, I know that you guys did a lot of video as well. Not Forgotten is actually able to preserve video for up to 300 years. So you guys can set that future legacy for anyone else in your town who wants to look at it. And this is like when the opening date is, and then below it you have, the whole thing is described and what's in your time capsule and where it's been deposited. So you have it one right here, 105 Kennedy Boulevard for our listeners if you want to go check out their time capsule. But that's how easy it is to find. And you guys are, using the Dewey Decimal System through the Not Forgotten Library. You are online and in the system for 300 years, which is 10 generations. So really
Awesome.
exciting. I wanted to
Outstanding.
show you guys that so you could get a better idea of, what you're actually just contributed to because you are, building history.
Well, I will certainly pass that information on to our schools also, so they are
Yeah,
aware, and they can also give that information to the students if they want, if they have a project where they have to look up history or something. That would be,
exactly.
that's just solidifying our position in history.
Yes, exactly. And you guys had from, the video that I watched, it seemed like your high school was just full of morale. Everyone was very close-knit community. And I think it'd be great to have them know how to, research this and learn more about their town since there is so much pride in it. And I honestly cannot relate. I grew up moving around a lot. I've never been in one town for as long as I bet some of you guys have. So I'm envious. It seems like a huge family, and it was really beautiful to see. So, I mean, when the world is going to open up this time capsule, what do you think it's going to be like? I know it's 2079 is quite a while away, and things are so rapidly evolving. Who knows what it's going to be like?
Well, hopefully it's not alien.
Dystopian.
you know, Larry and I talked about that, and really, it's mind-boggling because I look back, a half a century from, in the past, and how much has changed. And if technology continues at the rapid pace it is now, I really don't even know what things are going to be like in 2079. I mean, I mean, who would have thought that, our phones, you
Yeah, I was
know,
going to say
could
the phones.
could do what they can do today. I mean, it's and it happened in a relatively blink of an eye.
Right.
So I don't know, and that's why when we put the time capsule together, we wanted to think ahead about
Hmm.
not being limited by technology or the lack of the old technology. Because, like for instance, if somebody were to give me a 8-track uh, to play, I wouldn't be able to play it because, the 8 tracks of my days are long gone. In fact, I remember 4 tracks, but they're gone. So when we were talking about putting the USB together, it was like, this is great, but are they going to be able to play it? Because 50 years from now, who knows? So
Yeah.
we figured, let's put the player in there for them. So now they got everything. So they don't need anything. They can watch it in a vacuum. All they need is electricity.
Yeah.
So
And wait till they get a load of our 2010 flip phone.
yeah,
You
we
guys put
put
that
that
in
in there
there
too.
too? Yeah, I mean, technology is becoming obsolete every single day. So I think the best part about that is that you did put in an interesting device, so it only needs electricity, right? That's what you said.
That's it.
Interesting. Okay, I've never heard of those before, and that's a common issue in the time capsuling world. People are putting in data that's not going to survive. I know in the 100 years from now, you take that USB, you got to plug it in. If we even have computers that have USB ports, and it might not even work. So that's a huge issue, and that's why, just like you guys are registered on Not Forgotten's library, they also save digital video for up to 300 years. So it doesn't matter about the platform because platforms it's getting difficult. In 10 years from now, I think it's going to be impossible to find something like a CD player unless you go to a garage sale or eBay maybe. But these things are getting more challenging. So you guys gave kind of a step-by-step how-to in the time capsule, which I thought was really great.
Well, what we'll do is, as we finish the videos, we should, find out how we can upload those or get
Yeah,
those to your database because right now they're residing on Google. But
who knows?
who knows at this point? YouTube videos. I mean, I don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah,
But if you have a media storage area that's 300 years, we'd like to have them in there as well because the videos we're producing have, they're entertaining, but they have a lot of good historical content
yeah.
with them as well. So we don't want those to get lost.
Yeah. And I think video has a human element that sometimes we are losing in this day and age. And there was actually an amazing quote from Matt Sheehan that said, obviously, he was a 1987 graduate, which I thought was very cool, and also the principal of the high school. But I loved how he talked about the greatest resource being the human beings and the relationships that you develop. Because with technology emerging, I think we're losing a little bit of that. So I loved that sentence, and I think that was pretty prevalent throughout your time capsule. I think he said, I think that we'll all agree, going back to 1987, students always look most fondly of their relationships that they built during their high school time. So that's my advice to future administrators. Never forget the people that you work with and the people you interact with on a daily basis, regardless of what forms of technology that you use, which I thought was just really, really great. And the fact that you guys are able to put those videos, I hope they survive. So yeah, definitely send them over to us so we can make sure that 10 generations will be able to watch this, because it seems that you guys are planting seeds for the future.
We will do that for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
And then I have another oddball question, but what do you think the future technology of time capsules will be in the future? Because obviously we have no idea what the future will be like, one-on-one with everything going on. But with time capsules, do you think we'll be able to save, holograms, like things like that?
Well, in the future, I mean, if you're looking 50 years down the road, I would say, yeah, holograms could play a big part in time capsules. You go up and get them and bring them down and look at them. It's hard to say. Digital, yes, I believe digital will play a big part in it also. Um, Technology in 50 years is going to be quite amazing. So,
Right.
I do hope they still continue time capsules. And if they are creative in the way they preserve their history, that's awesome.
And let me add, and I'm not doing this because you asked me to give you a plug, but let me add that what you're doing and organizations like the World Group, all of that, they're critical, because there needs to be one constant in order to ensure that we can pass on our legacy. And with just in our state alone, we have 565 municipalities. Okay, everybody could theoretically be doing their own thing, and if they're doing it and no one has a way of being able to view it down the road, then that legacy is lost. So if there's a common element where you're gathering in one location and ensuring that it's going to be there for 300 years, I mean, to me, that really is the most critical aspect of this, is how do we make sure that there's one place people can go, and regardless of the technology, they'll get access to this information.
Yeah, and I love that you guys are on that database, and I want to keep building, especially in New Jersey, so we can kind of capture the history of the state. But for other towns that might want to create something that you guys have created, or take part of, the Somerdale tradition, do you have any advice to give to people who want to be a part of this, who want to create their own, but are a little bit overwhelmed because it's a big project?
Yes, it is. My advice would be to absolutely plan it out. Take your time on planning, because a lot of that, you want to make sure that you capture, all of the history that you are trying to save. Make sure you get everything. So I think it takes time in planning and execution. Make sure you put the proper items in there, or protective items in there, so that what you do put away, it lasts.
And I would suggest, to the listeners, if you're not an elected official like we are, but you have an interest, go to your local elected official and suggest that they participate in doing a town-wide time capsule. I don't want to say that what we did was the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I think it's a great idea, and done at our level, it gives us the ability to capture and retain a lot more information than one person doing it on their own. We have access to things that our individual residents do not. And so I would suggest, if they have an interest, go to your local governing body, ask them to participate. It should be a team effort. You need more than one person. You can't do it by yourself. There's a lot here. But there are resources out there, such as yours, that will provide the guidance. And if you do a little bit of research, you can find your way. And I think that you'll find most mayor and councils would be more than happy to participate, because we deal with a lot of negative things. Most people don't go to their mayor or council unless they have a problem.
True.
They're not happy with their taxes. Their sewer isn't working. Their trash hasn't been picked up. This is a fun project that's positive. And we look for things like that to break the ice when we have all these other bad things we got to deal with. So I think it would be well received if somebody were to go to their mayor or their council and say, why don't you consider doing this?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And after the year we've all had, I think a little bit more positivity goes a long way. And yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. So that's really what we're doing today. I'm so excited and grateful that you guys could come aboard and show me what you guys did as a town and talk about the Time Capsule. And I'm not too far away, so I might come and check it out myself one day if you can have visitors. But yeah, this has been great. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join me.
Thank you for having us,
Thank
Elyse.
you. Really had a great time, and we appreciate it.
Of course. I will send you guys this over, and I'll send you some additional information about, saving the video and making sure that future generations can watch those. For anyone else watching, listen to the mayor, go to your officials, bring it up. Don't try to do it all by yourself at home. It's not as much fun that way anyways. So, guys, thank you so much, and we'll be in contact shortly.
You have a great day,
All
and
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, so that was an amazing episode. We had 2 people from New Jersey, which is always fun. That's where we're based right now. And if you guys have any questions about their time capsules, feel free to email me, Elyse at not-forgotten.com. We'll be linking all of their videos, all of their additional information when we post this. But thank you so much for joining, and we will see you